Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing a blue-black Glint-Sleeve Siphoner based control deck in Standard, and this is round 2. This hand seems fairly reasonable with some early interaction and counterspells. We are on the play, so we'll go ahead and keep. We would like one additional land, but we're not going to stress over it. Just lead on Drowned Catacombs because we have no turn 1 play anyway. So Plains and Sacred Cat, that could be the blue-white auras deck. It could also be the green-white appeal to authority, tokens-based aggro deck. We'll go ahead and just pass it on back. Looks like it's blue-white auras. I suppose it could also be some type of Esper or blue-white tokens list. Didn't anticipate that. There's nothing we can do about that, so that resolves. We'll play our island just to sandbag our Field of Ruins for as long as possible. So perhaps they're just attempting to get value off of Search for Azcanta by putting a bunch of Embalm and Eternalized creatures into their graveyard. For 3 mana, I can't think of anything I'm too afraid of. Yeah, so it definitely looks like they're just a graveyard-based value deck. I don't believe Approach plays. Oh, so it's blue Godpharaoh's Gift. This is a very tough matchup for us. We want to be able to Glimmer next turn, so we'll go ahead and take out this Sacred Cat with a Fatal Push, which doesn't feel great. Let me just confirm that there's no Godpharaoh's Gift in the bin. We're going to pass. We should have probably just Glimmered on our own turn to ensure they don't counter it. Could also do it on their upkeep so that if they want to take off their whole turn countering it, they can, and I'd be reasonably not too upset about that. Champion of Wits, resolved. We really need to be finding some counter spells for the Godpharaoh's Gift, or a Scarab God is another major priority for us. Either way, we should probably have counter spells to back it up. What does this card do? Interesting. These games are likely to go long, so we're going to be needing to play fairly quickly, so we don't end up in a rush like we did last game. The Glint-Sleeve Siphoners actually greatly improve this matchup, I believe. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and Glimmer. The Vraska's Contempt is a good card, but I don't think we want 2 of them. Scarab God is exactly what we needed. We're going to go ahead and run it out and hope they don't have removal for it, because we're missing some counter spells, and this matchup very quickly deteriorates for us. So we can get up to 4, 5, 6 mana next turn by putting something in their graveyard and then playing a land. So the very first thing we're going to reanimate, supposing we untap, is the Angel of Invention. We do not untap. As we have no bounce spells in this particular version, that means that Scarab God is gone for good. I believe we just hold up Gearhulk Glimmer, or Gearhulk Essence Scatter. We also don't want to tap out in the event that they go for a Godfarer's Gift this turn. Minister is fine, I suppose. We can deal with it. Chart a course. Yeah, unfortunately. Opponent's continuing to commit to the board. We could just Bontus. Do we want to commit to Gearhulk? Or do we want to Vraska's Contempt the champion, Bontus the board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did they miss a land drop? No, they played the Plains. We'll go for the Gearhulk. I could use the extra cards. We really need to find some counter spells. Yes, we'll cast Glimmer. This turn we're definitely going to be taking care of Azcanta. We'll do it after combat. And then we need to ensure that we have enough to Vraska's Contempt and Disallow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. So that is exactly that. But if we Field of Ruin, we can't do both. So I guess we're taking, oh my gosh. Guess we're taking a turn off of one of those two spells. Most likely the Vraska's Contempt, although it is the more mana efficient route for us to play it, but we can't beat a resolved Godfarer's Gift, so we need to keep up this Disallow. Strategic Planning resolved. I was just verifying there that they can't return a creature or a enchantment. Strategic Planning may just be good enough for Search for Azcanta control decks, just to accelerate your graveyard a little bit and get some decent card selection. It's not card advantage, though. So the Godfarer's Gift is now in the graveyard, so we have to be very careful to not allow them to play a Refurbish. Let's confirm it refurbishes sorcery speed, so we'll Vraska's Contempt as champion on the end step if they don't go for Refurbish. Chart, of course, we're going to let resolve. Godfarer's Gift is basically all that matters on this matchup. Yeah, you can have your Taker Cat. we were lucky to draw our one of negate. It seems counterintuitive for us to be continuing to attack. However, we don't have the better late game in this matchup, so we want to try to force through as much damage as possible. We're only facing down 3 damage in return. They have an additional Godfarer's Gift. Some lists only run 1 copy of Godfarer's Gift while playing the artifact that allows you to search for it. But as this one's on the refurbished plan, I guess it's more likely that it plays multiple copies. We're going to attempt to disallow this. Our opponent's down to 1 card in hand. They have correctly identified that they're winning the race on board. Moment of Craving helps us out a lot on that front, though. Try and get in there. And then I believe this is the correct movement target. And we'll pass. Is this a Gearhulk or a Champion of Wits? Did he mill one of those over previously? So we're going to want to Vraska's Contempt this champion. But our mana doesn't line up quite right. It's also, okay, now that they tap down another land, I don't feel as bad about Field of Ruining these Ipnu Rivulets. So we're going to Field of Ruin each of those. Can we do both? It takes us down. If we do both for, no, we can only do one. We're going to get a Swamp. And Vraska's Contempt this champion. We'd love to find another Disallow or a Gearhulk or a Scarab God. A Fatal Push isn't the worst for us either, considering we can get this blocker out of the way. I haven't done the math with the lifelink, however, I do believe we're winning this race. May want to take care of this Ipnu Rivulet before they can untap. I don't think it's relevant, though. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we just lose. Still have 18 minutes on the clock. We could probably just play for a little bit more. What do they get to bring back? An Angel? Yeah, we're dead. Alright, so unfortunately Lost Legacy can't hit artifacts. We're going to be boarding in our Glint-Sleeve Siphoners, Duresses, Negates, and Crook of Condemnation. Taking out Thematic Compass, Moment of Cravings, likely Hieroglyphic Illuminations, Thematic Compass, Moment of Craving. Still looking to cut 4 cards. It's pretty difficult. Vraska's Contempt isn't great against them. I don't want to board out all of our removal because, again, they are a creature-based deck. And especially with boarding into this Delver-style deck that we're going for. So Angel of Invention and Gearhulk are probably the only things we need Vraska's Contempt for. You could also cut Bontus, but I kind of like the ability for it to catch us up. That said, if we're trying to be the beatdown, that means we're going to be playing to the board a little bit more. So let's do this. And then do we take out Fatal Push or Glimmers? Or do we just cut it? I don't particularly want to cut a land, but if we're trying to move down the curve, it's possible we do. 25 lands isn't unheard of. We need to make our decision quickly, no matter what we do. Fatal Push. I guess that's what we're doing. This gets us back up to 60. We're just going to have to submit deck. I'll press Control Print Screen so that we have a copy of that. And let's vet the deck. Yes, we want to play first. We would have really liked to have seen Glint-Sleeve Siphoner in this opening hand, but I do believe it's too good to send it back, so we will keep. We'll play our Fetid Pools. Pass. Cast out and search for Azcanta in the yard. Champion of Wits. I think we let that resolve, being it's on. We only have one counter spell in hand. Unfortunate for us that they get to see the additional cards in their graveyard. Such a good resource for them. So there's a Godpharaoh's Gift in the graveyard as well as an Angel of Sanctions. So I'll do this since we're streaming. So that's unfortunate for us as well. But we have to keep up this disallow for refurbish. Go ahead and play our island. Once again, it's important to note that refurbish is a sorcery, so we are okay to glimmer on our end step. They didn't play a land yet. They also didn't pitch any lands. Chart a course. Yeah. There they played a land. Pitching. Kefnet's actually really good, I believe. We're going to put Kefnet on top, and we're going to put that on bottom. So Fetid Pools and Kefnet and Torrential Gearhulk. Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so we can't do Kefnet and Disallow. So I think we're just playing the Fetid Pools because we're likely going to need to hit all of our land drops. Yeah, unfortunately, Champion of Wits gets to resolve. I mean, it does tap them down out of Refurbish range, so it's possible we could play it, but at the same time, we want to be able to hold up this Disallow for the Refurbish next turn anyway. The amount of card selection they get is just insane. This is definitely one of our worst matchups. Taking 3 this turn. Although, what could they play for 2 mana that we're willing to counter? I don't think anything. So I'm going to Vraska's Contempt this. So they do have their 2 mana. Yeah, I wasn't going to counter Chart Course anyway, so. Oh gosh, don't. That's the turn. We play Kefnet here. And we played a land, so we'll pass. Holding up. Disallow. If our opponent forces us to disallow this turn, we will. We can embalm an Angel of Sanctions. Which we can disallow. And then we have Gearhulk disallow for the following turns. So unfortunately, this means we're going to have to activate Kefnet in order to be able to attack with it. Which was really my big fear about playing Kefnet at all, was the fact that we aren't going to be able to attack with them very often. The negate's really one of our best draws there. If they play the Angel of Sanctions, we're in a bit of trouble. I wasn't supposed to play that land, was I? Yeah, I definitely just messed up by playing that land. It's good to know that at least. So that gets us to 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. I'm willing to run out the Scarab God and hold up negate for protection, since I messed up and we're not attacking with Kefnet. If they embalm the Angel of Sanctions, we're in a bit of trouble. If they just go for a Godfarer's Gift, we're incredibly happy. So let's see how greedy our opponent wants to be. If they have a Refurbish plus Counter Magic, we lose. We'll go ahead and attempt this. Negate. Now if they have land plus Refurbish, we lose. So maybe I wasn't supposed to negate that. So not playing a Refurbish before combat indicates that they don't have one. which is fantastic for us. Alright, we might actually have a chance here. We're going to start exiling their Angel of Sanctions, taking out the Champion of Wits, I believe. Angel of Invention is actually even better for us, I believe. I think we go with the +1/+1 counters. Scry one, they lose one. Vraska's Contempt is not really what we're looking for. We're really looking for a counter spell at this point. Gearhulk is a good card. Kefnet is good in theory, but in practice, if we're going to have to tap out on our main phase, it's not the hottest. Giving up 4 mana to activate Scarab God allows us to get a Angel of Sanctions. So cast out, we can allow the cast out to enter the battlefield if it's an enters the battlefield trigger, right? Then we can Angel of Sanctions it to get rid of the cast out, but then if he has removal for the Angel of Sanctions, we're in trouble. Additionally, we could Angel of Sanctions, exile the Scarab God, and then he can either get beat down by a 4/4 flyer or exile the Angel of Sanctions and give us our Scarab God back. So which of those two lines has the best upside? It is leaves the battlefield, correct? Yes. So I think what we're actually going to do is exile Angel of Sanctions and exile our Scarab God, and then we get to attack for 4. Makes the best target for the cast out this. This is happening. Wait, is it happening now? Cancel. Or are we just going to be greedy and go for... Actually, I'm going to let the cast out resolve, and then I'm going to Angel of Sanctions it with the trigger on the stack. We're going to target this. Yes. And now we should not lose our Scarab God, correct? Hopefully. Otherwise, I really just messed that up. Alright. So that's actually the first game I've actually won against Godfather's Gift, so I'm pretty excited there. I don't think we have any changes, play versus draw. Perhaps we want some number of hieroglyphic illumination. Kefnet didn't seem great there. Would we rather just have some more interaction than have Kefnet? Probably not. I don't think there's anything for us to Lost Legacy. We could Lost Legacy something like Champion of Wits, but then that's less cards for him to have. We could Lost Legacy Refurbish. That doesn't seem awful. I'll just leave Kefnet in. We're the beatdown. We're not the full-on control deck now, so I think we just go with this again. And we could have attacked with Kefnet if I hadn't punted that game away, so this is 100% a keep. We'll lead with Swamp, Duress. We are slightly up on time, which is good for us. And Negate is wonderful as well. Take this cast out. Their hand is revealed, I believe. Yeah. This is going to be the Minister. So Glacial Fortress is gone. They're holding up Negate. Jokes on them. Unless they're holding up something like Essence Scatter, but there's no reason for them to do that. Champion. Yep. We're going to play one of these Fetid Pools next turn. We need to continue to hit our land drops, and we need everything to come in untapped from this point on. Always yield. We're going to play this Fetid Pools. So unfortunately, if they just run out the Minister here, we have to find a removal spell. Nope. I guess the Minister only costs 1 mana, so they could still run it out. But we have 2, possibly even 3 draws with this Fetid Pools to find it. In fact, the Fetid Pools is a reason for us to stop passing the turn at the moment. We will cycle the Fetid Pools on end step, because we have 2 more lands in hand, and we're likely to find another land in our next 3 draws. Oh, they're not even... They're going to race us, huh? Do I cycle the Fetid Pools now? I still think the logic behind cycling it's fine. Alright. I always yielded to this, right? Yes. Man, I love that card. Guess we should be paying closer attention to what's in their graveyard. They have yet to find a God-Bearer's Gift. We have nothing to do on their end step. They could be representing a blocks even. I wasn't paying close enough attention, so we are not attacking this turn. We'll just leave this back. If it's getting us an onboard 2-for-1, I'm pretty happy. Resolve 5. We actually kind of want to get in a counterfight this turn because we want to have these Gearhulks have a target of some kind. I think our opponent aggressively milling with Minister implies that they have a refurbish in hand. This is going to attack us. Vraska's Contempt is pretty good. This gets us up to 6 mana for Gearhulk. We get to attack with Glint-Sleeve. And we get to draw extra cards. What more could we want in life? I am, however, tempted to hold up Vraska's Contempt Negate rather than Gearhulk. If they go to their end step, I will Vraska's Contempt the Champion of Wits to hopefully get in with the Glint-Sleeve Siphoner again next turn. And if at any point we draw a Glimmer, the Glint-Sleeve Siphoner just gets even better. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. If they run Gearhulk, we could be regretting this decision, but then we just get to play our own Gearhulk and kill their Gearhulk. Scarab God's great, Glimmer's great, our deck is great, End is great. We just pass, hold up negate, turns with Gearhulk and Glimmer. If this is a Gearhulk, no, it's Ipnu, milling them. They found their Godfarrow's Gift. We are at 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. Our opponent is attacking with Minister. That's fine by me. If we went for a Gearhulk this turn, we'd put them on a 2-turn clock. But I think we just want to keep that back for counterspells unless they do this. They have 1 card in hand. We don't have 2 counterspells either way because we're at 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So I say we go for Gearhulk this turn. This loses to Essence, Scatter, or Negate instead of just Negate. Jace's Defeat. We weren't beating Jace's Defeat anyway. So that resolves. Now we have to race a Godfarrow's Gift. So what do they have in their deck to bring back? Nothing? That's fine by me. We're going to play Scarab God to counteract our Godfarrow's Gift and hold up Negate. So we're going to attack. There are no creatures in here, correct? Okay. There are creatures in our graveyard, but not in theirs. Our opponent has no cards in hand, no energy, and I believe we've won this game. Glint-Sleeve Siphoner allowed us to draw a ton of cards. So that was round 2 against Godfarrow's Gift. That's a match where a complete dog in normally. The Glint-Sleeve Siphoner's definitely helped a ton. Our opponent also not having a creature was helpful. We may have gotten a little bit greedy by casting that Gearhulk. However, we were only casting 1 counterspell either way. What did happen there? It's already gone out of my head. What counterspell did they use? Jace's Defeat. So either way, their Godfarrow's Gift was resolving. I think we went with the higher upside play. It also got a creature into our graveyard for Scarab God. We didn't consider that at the time, but we know it now. So if you guys noticed anything else that I didn't notice about some of our plays, any misplays, or advantages to certain lines that we may or may not have taken, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Let me know, and we'll see you for round 3 before too long.